Hello friends, I am a Ukrainian who does not leave the territory of his country. I would like to tell you what is really happening at the front with the help of animation and the information that the armed forces of Ukraine give us. Support my work by liking it and also believe in our victory. Today the occupiers have been given a real roasting. A powerful explosion occurred in Melitopol. The explosions also reached the Russian-occupied Donetsk. Local residents reported the arrival of a shell near the Topaz plant in the northwest of the city. Traditionally, the occupiers claimed successful air defense, but the footage released to the public suggests otherwise. Meanwhile, in the occupied part of Zaporizhia region, namely in Tokmak, the armed forces of Ukraine killed about 200 invaders, in particular, the so-called commandant of the city. According to Ukrainian intelligence, the Ukrainian armed forces attacked a forging and stamping plant. In the Svativsky section, fighting continues for Novoselivske and the village is now actually in the grey zone. The Russians cannot enter it, and our troops cannot gain a foothold in it. The enemy continues to put pressure on Serebrenske forestry. Ukrainian army storms enemy positions under machine gun fire and the explosion of the invaders' cannons. Our defenders from the 2nd Assault Battalion of the 3rd Brigade are driving the occupiers out of the forest. We must always remember the price our heroes pay for this victory. In the Bakhmut sector, fighting continues on the outskirts of Klishivka and near the CDD canal. The Ukrainian armed forces break through to Soledar and the Russian orcs surrender. Ukrainian soldiers have once again destroyed another T-90M tank, which the Russians claimed had no analog. No changes in the Avdiivka sector. The enemy is accumulating reserves. In addition, Russia has launched an offensive in the Lugansk sector, where the enemy has very large forces and is putting a lot of pressure on our defense. Military expert Alexander Musienko said that the main goal of the occupiers is to pull the main forces away from Bakhmut and partially from the south to stop our offensive. According to him, if the Ukrainian armed forces break through the first line of defense in the south, Russia will also be forced to move reserves there, and this will break the plan of Putin's generals. In the Zaporizhia sector, fighting continues in the northeast of Robotene. A significant increase in the number of enemy artillery attacks in this direction has been recorded. At both the Zaporizhia and Kherson directions, the enemy is focusing its main efforts on preventing further advance of our troops. At the same time, the Ukrainian defense forces continue to conduct offensive operations in the Melitopol and Berdyansk directions, consolidate their position, inflict artillery fire on the identified enemy targets, and carry out counter-battery measures. The Russians continue to attack Dachi. National Guard spokesman Urshalovich said that active reconnaissance and fire damage to the full depths of the enemy's defense is being conducted in the Kherson direction to prepare areas and borders for offensive actions. He also said that a bridgehead was being prepared to expand the offensive in the Avdiivka sector. Colonel of the Armed Forces Reserve, former General Staff Officer and military expert Oleg Zhdanov said that the Ukrainian armed forces have made a new advance near Bakhmut. Ukrainian soldiers are hovering over Klishivka, and in a week the Russian will withdraw from it. Our troops have started moving towards Soledar, where they have cut into the enemy's defense, only 4 kilometers to the city. The Ukrainian armed forces have advanced in the area of Priyutne in the Berdyansk sector and are consolidating their positions. In the area of Robotino, we have already reached the first line of defense of the occupiers. British intelligence has noted that the Ukrainian armed forces are using NATO tactics, frog jumps, short but frequent breakthroughs. This tactic allows our army to avoid heavy losses. The special forces are conducting a special operation on one of the Dnipro Island. After conducting aerial reconnaissance, enemy positions were discovered there. A decision was made to move into the area to neutralize enemy personnel and ensure control over the territory. As a result of the operation, one enemy boat was destroyed and another damaged. 5 enemy militants were also neutralized.